Hi everyone, Ken's here at Fool's Flow, and I wasn't planning on filming a video today. I actually just recently had a dental procedure done a couple days ago, so if you hear me lisping, that is why. Pardon me, but I felt really called to make this video today because I felt that the energy of new moon and the partial solar eclipse yesterday was really profound and transformational, and I have these decks here that all have art on like a black background that I've been wanting to put together into a reading for a while now, and so I thought it would be really nice to do a reading in honor of the dark moon and eclipse season starting. So yes, I don't want to ramble for too long in this intro, so let's just get into it. These decks here are actually kind of deceptive. I'm really only putting these crystals here for what you're choosing from, but if it helps, I could pull a card from each deck to just go along with the vibe and aid your intuition. So yes, let's just get right into the crystals. So for group one, we have this black, smoky, not actually smoky, but dark colored agate. I think it might be ocean agate. I got it when I was a child, so I don't actually know, but it's a really nice specimen. It has a lot going on. It's very stormy. So that's for group one. For group two, we have this Hypersthene. I feel like you don't really see this crystal as much. It looks a lot like silver sheen obsidian, but it is not quite the same. It has different kind of sheen and different kind of energy to it. For group three, we have Snowflake Obsidian. I also got this little piece when I was a kid. Very cute. That's group three. And for group four, lisping. For group four, we have this Hematite here, nice and polished, very heavy. So that's that. I can also pull a card from each of these if that helps. I don't know how much the vibes will match up, but for just one last intuition aid, we can do that. Okay, coral snake for group one. This is a preview of what the readings are gonna look like. Okay, I'm feeling called to do the bottom energy. Okay, I believe this is the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. So yeah, some of these are tarot, some of these are oracle. Let me just do that. Ooh, okay. The Lovers. How far would you go for love? With group three, Snowflake Obsidian. And for group four, one random card. Ooh, Baptista. Very like high priestess kind of vibes. And that's for the hematite. So yes, if you need more time to decide on a group, feel free to pause and, whichever groups you're drawn to, totally could be more than one. It could be all of them. Like, just trust your intuition and feel free to play around with it. If it's not vibing with you, like, that's no indication of like you or me. We're just all trying to figure out the energies around us at any given time, right? So all of the timestamps will be in the description for where to jump to, but if you are choosing group one, then stick right here because I'm going to start out with that. Otherwise, I will see you in a few seconds. Bye! Hello, group one. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Dark Ocean Agate, we doing that? I think we're doing that. If you chose the Dark Ocean Agate and I believe the Coral Snake, then this is going to be your reading. I wanted one more for where you are currently in the dark. Ooh, okay, this is already pretty cool. Okay. This deck is so interesting because it's technically tarot, but also oracle at the same time. It's a new experience for me. So I didn't even have time to like explain the reading. We're gonna get your energy of sort of where you are and like what is more immediately in your vision. what is closer to you that you're a little bit more aware of, and then we'll sort of branch out into like what is more vague. Lucahost, dandelion. Okay. It's earth energy, air energy. This is the one. Licorice. Okay. Okay, so I literally had to reference, I took pictures when I first got this deck because it doesn't come with a guidebook, and if you forgot what the minors are, there's literally no way of knowing. So I had to reference. But very interestingly, this right here is actually the Four of Wands. You have Justice, which is number 11, and then this here is the Four of Pentacles. So already you have this intense mirroring and like heavy, heavy angel numbers. So I guess to start off, it seems like you're very protected. And even with this blindfold here, it's like you're in the energy of like, I know my guides are here for me. I know that I don't need to see the way. Like, I have people helping me. I'm not alone in this darkness. So that's like a really positive vibe to be starting out with group 1. I hope that resonates for you because that would be really nice. To fully read everything out, just to make sure that I said that, we have, can you accept a new beginning with the Four of Wands, reap what you sow with Justice, and don't invite everyone to your castle with the Four of Pentacles. So it seems like your guides are like keeping people away from you. It's kind of like, yeah, maybe your intuition, you're not that good at listening to it, or like your awareness, you know that you have some room for improvement there on how developed it is, but like you have a lot of trust at the same time that you will go where you need to go, and like forces that should stay away from you are going to be kept away from you, or like even if it's by accident, you'll find your way to get away from them, even if you're not super aware of everything that's around you. Okay, so looking at your dirt gems, there are very strong messages of, again, like you have guides looking out for you, which is really amazing, but there is sort of this energy of impulsivity, like you've kind of been able to get away with a lot in your life, or like without having a lot of intentionality, or like potentially being pretty reactive still, but like things just work out for you anyway, even if you do sort of fly off the handle sometimes, or even if you are, again, just kind of impulsive and maybe not always in alignment with like who you want to be or where you want to be going. It kind of seems like you've been flying by the seat of your pants a little bit, and like you are so loved and protected from like the spirit world, and maybe just in general, people, you have a lot of people who care about you in the 3D as well. But I think you're being called to level up a little bit, group 1. You've been doing just fine. You've been doing great for yourself, honestly, but I think you probably must have some interpersonal conflicts that don't sit well with you, or you don't feel like you're achieving to your highest potential because you're not quite as organized as you would like to be, and just not as tapped in as you would like to be. This is interesting. So it seems like you're not too bothered about where you are currently, but it also seems like how much of that is avoidance and how much of that is like a lack of self-awareness. It's great that you're not stressed out, but it just seems like your guides know that you can do better than what you've currently been doing. Like, I think you're facing a level up. You're like, I'm comfortable here, I'm not scared, but at the same time, you haven't put your all into taking those steps forward into like achieving a higher version of yourself or just evolving in some way. And I think you have the energy for it too, but for whatever reason, you have been avoiding it. Or maybe your energy is being drained by not being grounded, by being reactive, like you're losing energy due to shadow work that you haven't done and need to do. But yeah, that's the vibe. So let's see like what is farther out into the darkness. That's where you are right now. But where are you going? I mean, I think we already sort of have a hint, but what else do you need to know? What does group 1 need to know about shadow work they need to do? Okay, so I am taking reversals in this instance. So, okay, we have the Four of Swords reversed. LOL. Are you someone who has a lot of energy? Okay, the Hermit. Okay. Group 1, you're getting called out in this reading. I'm gonna take one that fell on the floor? Yeah, why not? Smell all the way to the floor, so I really wanted to come out. That's the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Might I add another 4 there? So yeah, you have 3 out of the 4 minors now. Oh, okay. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, self-care queen. Group 1, you are getting called out. Your guides are funny. They really, really care about you. But they're like, we know they can do better. So it seems like, are you the kind of person who doesn't spend enough time alone? Do you like to surround yourself with people or always be doing activities? Because that's the energy I'm getting. It seems like you know, you're not necessarily extroverted, but it does seem like you have at least enough energy. It doesn't have to be like overflowing or anything, but you seem to be pretty active and you're not taking enough time to rest. You're resisting your need to rest, and so, you know, I want to bring your attention to that. You don't want to end up burning out or anything. Interesting here. This is a new deck for me, so I'm just noticing this person is in a wheelchair. So, you know, there might sort of be a message there of like neglecting your health can lead to further complications, or your mental health can end up affecting your physical health, all kinds of like health messages, but you are blocking some amount of abundance. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that you might not have all the material abundance you want. You at least have enough to distract yourself, but that can obviously go off course pretty quickly. It seems like the kind of abundance that you're lacking and that you're a bit blocked off to in this instance is like self-care and self-love, because Queen of Pentacles is a self-care queen, you know. Can look it up in this guidebook. What do they have to say? This is a chrysanthemum, a queen chrysanthemum. Yep, use caution, overextension of one's energy, especially in financial or work matters, possible loss. So yeah, like if you're partying a lot because you have some deep subconscious emotional imbalance, you know, it could end up getting kind of out of hand and like affecting your job or something like that. Obviously that's sort of ominous. I'm not trying to freak you out or anything, but it does seem like you are unbalanced and like you've stayed ahead of it because, you know, you have a lot of good things going on to distract you, but this is sort of a warning, like you can't keep having this, a new word for blind faith, but you can't just keep winging it anymore. Like, it's really cool how brave you are, how bold you are, that you aren't afraid to go through the darkness, but you know, ultimately you can be a better version of yourself if you learn how to see through it. you like upgrade your night vision goggles and learn more about yourself, your abilities, and sort of what you've been avoiding. So yeah, heavy messages that you do have shadow work that you need to work on. Group 1. This is getting kind of loud. Okay, so let's see what else is waiting for you in the dark. Slug. This is so exciting. Yeah, aside from Botanica, I haven't used most of these decks in a reading before yet. You have Slug. What else is waiting for you? Wisteria. Do you watch Demon Slayer? Anyone watching this? Anybody? I always loved Wisteria as a kid. I even picked out a paint color to paint my room that. Because I loved purple. Owl. So you might see your guides or ancestors giving you signs in the form of birds, specifically owls. If you see that in coming days or weeks, that could be confirmation. And you also have kelp. So let us take a look at the guidebook. Right, so the slug is actually, it's so funny that it came out next to the Four of Swords in reverse. Like, you really are being told to slow down, group 1. Your guides are like, please take a nap, please have a day, you know, like I'm filming this on a Sunday. Or have a day, you know, to review your responsibilities, plan out your week, plan a new morning routine or night routine. And you know, it can be hard to make, like, I don't know, it's like you decide that you want to make some changes, then it's like, has to be all encompassing, so dramatic, but it's like, you can take it like one step at a time, you know what I mean? Like, even just scheduling a couple hours a day for specific things. You don't have to have everything planned out like so perfectly. So yeah, definitely need to slow down with the slug. I think that will help you, and like could also schedule time for shadow work and also extra time for recovering from the shadow work. This is important, okay? I feel like too often people sort of jump right into that and they don't realize that it's quite an intense process, not something to sort of do casually or anything like that. Yeah, the wisteria is also echoing sort of that you are coming into a new chapter in your life. I think you've probably been coasting for a long time, sort of walking through the dark and having a fine time of it, but this is like blessings to say that like you are very much capable of starting a new chapter, and like you have so much support from all sides, really, just like so much love and encouragement coming your way. You have so many cheerleaders. Yeah, it's simply time to level up. You can also look at owl. So yeah, this kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, actually. Like, you've had such strong spiritual support and like good luck so far, I think, but you could stand to work on your intuition a little bit. I think you've gotten by just fine, but again, part of this sort of new level of existence you're stepping up into, I think using your own intuition is going to be a larger part of that, or at least engaging more deliberately in getting downloads from other sources. Look how pretty this plant is. I can't, it's like literally sparkling. Yeah, so like, I don't know if you do any forms of divination, but that would be another example of like, if you don't trust your own intuition, it's a great way to start building it up, because you're, you know, getting information from elsewhere, but you're learning to trust yourself as you receive this information. It's a really powerful process, potentially. So I think that's really beautiful. And again, like, this is also just a form of your guides. I think even if you haven't been intentionally tapping into it, you do have a lot of spiritual energy surrounding you. So that is like waiting for you if you want to take it a step further. Even if you have been engaging in these things, I think like you don't even realize how much power you really have. And so there is there's a new level waiting for you. It's exciting. So look forward to a spiritual upgrade for sure. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. So with kelp, we have your subconscious. It's funny, this is like two different levels of like, you know, high priestess energy, and then like if you're not, this is like the more dense, not as good sort of energy in that same realm of like also the subconscious, but when you're not aware, when you are stuck, when things are really muddy and cloudy and you don't know what's going on. And like I can definitely relate to that in terms of not always having enough structure in your life. So this just fits right into everything else in this reading, which is to say like you're being called to just live your life a little bit more intentionally. So I love that like you're not afraid of the dark in this instance. It seems like you are a pretty confident person, but you can be an even brighter, more high vibrational version of yourself if you take some more time alone than what you've been doing so far. This is really cool. I didn't know what to expect. We'll do some Moonology cards for some final advice. Please, spirit guides. Advice for group 1. Okay. Adjustments are required. Ha 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 ha. Yes, that is, yep, that's what it is. Adjustments are required. That is so beautiful, that art. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Can I please have more? A fiery climax approaches. Okay, so you could take this a couple of different ways. Like, I do think that if this is left unchecked, like, something will catch up to you. Like, that's not to be ominous. I just think that's what it is. But it can also be like, if you do start making some changes, I think something awesome will happen for you, whatever that upgrade looks like. So you can take that both ways, but it's definitely like you need to take action. Can we get one more piece of advice for group 1, please? You're very close to achieving your goal. So yeah, it really doesn't feel like these are like huge changes that you need to make, or that like something in your life is like severely out of balance or like very, very not okay. It seems like these are just like small things that could really add up for you in really positive ways. So I think it really wouldn't take a lot for you to step into this new energy and this new chapter. Like, you're pretty much like already almost there. I think just for whatever reason you've been resisting that. And so yeah, I feel like this is very much like a you know what you need to do like type of reading in group 1. Like, this either resonated with you or didn't, but if it did, like, you know, I'm sure this is just a call out that you've already been receiving a lot lately in one way or another. So I love just, yeah, readings being sassy like that, okay? I'm just the messenger. So yes, group 1, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good new moon and that your eclipse season and Mercury retrograde go well. Thank you so much for being here in this video, and yeah, take care, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye. Hello, Group 2. If you chose the Hypersthene and Group 2, as well as, I want to say, the Wheel of Fortune, this is going to be your reading. So, this is kind of open, but we're not taking that. I want to look at sort of like where you are in the dark currently, and sort of what's like more in your immediate vicinity that you like might be more aware of than things that are farther off, but sort of just getting a vibe on like where you're at currently. Ace of Wands, welcome everything. Okay, this could go a few different ways depending. Ooh, the star, you were a full sun plant. One more card for Group 1, please. Okay, let's see what it is. Count your blessings, love. So, let me take a second. The thing about this deck is that this is actually a tarot card. Yeah, this is the Two of Cups. Okay. I literally took pictures at the beginning because if you were to forget, like, there's nothing to tell you. It doesn't come with a guidebook. And, like, only the aces and the courts are named. Everything else is up to you to figure out. But yes, this is the Two of Cups. So you have Ace of Wands, welcome everything. The star, you are a full sun plant. And love, count your blessings. So, okay. Okay, this could be a few different things. So there could be like a fear of letting new things or people into your life, or you have the opportunity to do that now, but you're hurting from something in the past and you're like hoping this new thing is going to be better and different, but like you have a lot of wounding there still, or you might be so messed up from that that you can't let anything into your life at all, or you're very, very scared to do that. Let's look at the dirt gems to sort of expand on these energies. Those are very interesting cards to have. So, what is within Group 2's vibe, energy, vicinity? What is Group 2 already a little bit aware of out here? In the dark, Thistle. Okay, I don't know this deck very well yet, but I know Thistle in general, and there's a lot of protection boundaries. So yeah, it seems like you might be having trouble letting people in, letting new things in, just making decisions and changes in general. Let's see, St. John's wort. Oh my gosh, I know this is the star, not the sun, but like this is heavily associated with the sun. Summer solstice, that's beautiful. You are a full sun plant, Group 2. You deserve the best. And Lobelia. So this is where these are both new for me. So let's just take a second. This is so beautiful. Thistle is not a good word to be doing when you've just had a dental procedure, but Thistle is here to remind you that when we seek to avoid fear, to banish it from our lives, we drive it deeper into ourselves. So it really does seem like you're struggling. You know, it's asking you to be courageous. It's called the Sword of Courage. It invites you to stand in your feelings. It's our friend when we have had to cope, when crisis is a regular event in our lives, and when we have shock wired into us from frightening or harmful events, and live with knives and prickers always out. Yeah. So literally the star comes right after the tower, right? So it does seem like whether it was recently or even longer ago or just all the time, it seemed you've definitely been through some crises or crisis or something just really challenging. And so I know it can be really hard to let new people or things in after that, after you've been really hurt. And your nervous system might be dysregulated. You know, you can go through a lot of damage in so many different ways. So it's not to judge at all, group 2, like totally understandable. Totally understandable. But it's just what's coming through. Beautiful. So St. John's wort is the ladder and the stairway. And it's talking about our relationship to light and duality, which is beautiful for being out here in the dark. What a fun thing to come up in this reading. Okay. It's hard to be in the light, to take it in, to glow and be brilliant. Sometimes feeling seen or being on is not where we want to be or does not feel safe. Yes. If we're not in a loving relationship with ourselves and we don't want to share unique gifts with others, can be an ally. So that the turning inwards, the focus on the shadows, the need to be invisible, does not spiral us downwards into self-isolation, self-loathing, or prolonged depression. Yes. Oh, this is so beautiful. Gosh, this energy. We are also in relationship to darkness in our lives and ourselves, and sometimes we are afraid to step into those places and really explore. Yes. So it definitely seems like you are more aware of your shadow and the darkness. This is such a different energy from group 1. It's so funny, or so interesting anyway. You're more aware of it, but you're more resistant to it for sort of different reasons. A little bit interesting. Exploring shadows for some can feel terrifying or simply hard to access, and sitting in the lighter places is the go-to. Yeah, so definitely a strong message that shadow work is required. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out in every group. Like, that is kind of what this reading is about, but it's funny that this one is so straightforward. Find your way through the beautiful layers of light and dark, and all the worlds will be open to you. And you won't be afraid of those worlds being open, right? Let's look up Lobelia. And you know, it's funny too because I don't know much about this yet, but obviously the sun, and the sun is obviously fire energy, and we have this line here, Leo vibes, so you might have Leo placements. Totally fine if you don't, that would just be extra confirmation. The middle finger of protection. Lobelia is a loving and firm advocate for giving less fricks, caring much less about approval, and drawing clear and uncompromising boundaries. So yeah, this is like, you're aware that you really need to step into your power more. This definitely feels farther away for you. It feels like there's a lot of deep inner work that needs to be done. But obviously, you can take steps towards this like whenever you want, whenever you're ready. You can get to a point where setting boundaries isn't as exhausting or scary or dysregulating. You can just know yourself, what they are, and like stand there firmly in your power and be like, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is what I want, what I like, and what I accept and tolerate. So if you like it, welcome. If you don't, get out. Or, you know, whatever it is that you feel about people. But yeah, if you're prone to panic or severe anxiety, Lobelia will not shy away from a high intensity state. So yeah, like, you really can't be judging yourself during this time. Group 2, like, that is not going to get you anywhere. And you have all of these beautiful energies here encouraging you. Panic and anxiety are contractive, but Lobelia helps you be more expansive. Yes. Let your shoulders drop, your esophagus open. Lobelia says, you are okay, I will protect you. How willing you are to receive love, what boundaries and limits are needed, and invite this clear desire in. Oh, it can produce vomit. Okay, so it can make you purge, which is interesting. sees things you might not want to look at, hidden emotional currents and secret motivations. It says, look with strength. Once you see it, you can handle it. The monsters are not as scary as we think they are. So definitely like take your time. You're not in a huge rush or anything. You know, I think if you were just to try to like purge everything, that would be really overwhelming. But there is a lot of work to be done here. I think you probably know that, even if you don't always have words for it. Or yeah, I'm just noticing too that you have 2 cards with lightning here, which is really interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of energy. I wouldn't be surprised. At first I was thinking more like depression due to having like low self-worth or something like that, but maybe it's mostly like an anxiety, social anxiety, agoraphobia, or just like any kind of PTSD or anything. Oh my goodness. My dog moves the table when I film. It's so funny. Baby. Okay, you know what? I guess this is how it is now. So she says to just chill and be present like a dog and let all of the love in. And she's anxious too sometimes, but she's lovely and everyone loves her. So yeah, it's okay. You know, obviously I'm always going to recommend working with a therapist or even just a peer support, anything like that, to start working on any mental health problems if you aren't actively treating those. But let's just take a look at what energies are a little bit farther away as we move farther into the darkness, into the shadow work. And I will take reversals for this deck. This is the Botanica Tarot deck. This is a gift. Very beautiful. I don't really see people using it ever. Okay, this is Justice. The scales, yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, those are the ones. They're all upright. Oh no, one was reversed. Just kidding. I don't know what the order should be. Wait, is this literally thistle? I don't know. Maybe I'll just put it here because I feel like the spikies match. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about numbers. We have 11 here with Justice. We have 2 different, oh no, never mind. Definitely a bunch of 4s. 3, 6, 5, 9, 6. I don't know, not too many repeating numbers really. But let's take a look at these. So maybe, are you holding on to resentment towards anyone who has hurt you? With the Justice, like I'm feeling like this need to like, I don't know, I hate being told to let go, but like it's almost like something is weighing you down. Yeah, I don't know if you're really wanting accountability for someone who has hurt you, or if part of your anxiety is like knowing you've hurt someone and like maybe haven't been held accountable or have. So yeah, that could definitely be some of your social anxiety, like one way or another there, which is definitely understandable. But you know, this is when we bring in the transformative justice standpoint, right? And we remember that like ultimately like punishing yourself forever is not the way forward. I personally don't think that's serving the highest good of all, especially if you've thought about that a lot and like want to change. Let's take a look at, we have 5 of Wands reversed, so definitely maybe you're sort of anticipating more than what's really happening. Victory after, yeah, literally this is Thistle. Oh my gosh, that is really cool. Wow. All right then, yeah, so Five of Wands. Reversed, it's a victory after a conflict, generosity, new opportunities, peace. So whatever's happened in the past, I think you're stepping into a new energy. So like you can just know that it doesn't have to keep happening that way, especially as you know yourself more and know your boundaries better. Like that's the thing with practice, like it really becomes less stressful to enforce them because it's just like less personal to you. It's like this is just me, and like I want to be surrounded by people who won't take that personally, you know what I mean? And you'll be less reactive. And like I feel like when a lot of people start working on boundaries for the first time, like they can be really extreme with it, super reactive, and like not putting up ones earlier in advance. So it's kind of like, you know, emergency action to be putting them up, and so they tend to be a lot more severe, and it's not always the most ideal. So it'll become more and more second nature to you and less draining. Yeah, so this is really just more like you can't do this alone. Yeah, I don't know if you've been sort of going through like a solitary, more hermit phase, but this is just saying like you're allowed to ask for help with this. And I really like where you're going because you're moving towards the Ten of Pentacles, so that's pretty promising. I opened right to it. Yeah, security, stability, inheritance, material wealth. Like you can be this lion and like have everything you want to have. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing the Nocturna, but I think you know what you need to do, group 2. Whether it's shadow work alone, working with a therapist, it may be something you need to forgive yourself for or forgive someone else for. But whatever it is, like you have a promising future. Yeah, look at that, Dawn, Conch. Dawn is, you know, the dawn of a new day, the dawn of a new chapter. The star gets you to that point, and then the sun will be back for you. Mushrooms make me think of like transformative justice and collective liberation. So it definitely seems like you're not feeling connected to a lot of people or things. Like you feel sort of isolated and alienated. Scallop. Okay, interesting. Dawn is the last card of the deck. Yeah, duality cycles end. And it's interesting the way that it's framed in the guidebook is like a challenging cycle has passed, or like the night can be challenging for a lot of the creatures there. So like, yeah, you're literally, this is like the exact scenario I was imagining of like being stuck in like a dark forest and sort of finding your way or waiting it out until the sunrise. So you are on your way out. I think this has been a very scary time for you, but look at all these messages you have of light. These mushrooms are kind of bioluminescent. You have the sun, the star, and then dawn. So I think that's really beautiful. The thing about this deck is that there are no numbers. It's not alphabetical in the guidebook, so you just have to I'll slowly get more used to it. Awakening, hearing, call to action, communication. Yes. So I think maybe you've had a pretty productive hermit mode. Some more than others. I think some of you will beat yourself up more than others, but you're definitely getting called to open those gates, let people in, you know, enjoy connection and love. Those are things that are there for you when you're ready. And, you know, you might never be ready, right? It's like never really a convenient time. So at a certain point, you just have to go for it. But you would really be surprised. So communication is the message too. Like you would really be surprised like how many assumptions you could be making about people, or like people could not be aware of the effect that they're having on you. Like, if you haven't really communicated super explicitly with someone, then I would really invite you to do that if something is bothering you. If you have, then, you know, obviously don't do that. But if you are feeling unresolved about a conversation that hasn't been had, I would encourage you, your guides are encouraging you to go for it. Growth in dark times, longevity, or for mushrooms. Yep, the darkest, most unexpected places, even in places where there were previously fires, kind of like the tower burning down, leading to the star. Even in difficult times, life finds a way. Like being led by the star. Isn't it interesting that Scallop is like a creature of the night? I don't think I would have expected that personally. Goddess, travel, femininity, and vessel. Yeah, so I feel like you've been operating with a really sort of maybe hurt or imbalanced feminine energy. Like, I think you have been. Obviously you've been through something, so I'm sorry to hear that, group 2, but you can find a way to both honor your feminine energy and also, like, again, have the strong boundaries, not totally, you know, just openly taking on whatever's thrown at you and giving to people endlessly, even if there's like a building resentment. None of that, group 2. You're going to be on a whole other level of boundaries and communication. So what's out here for you in the dark? Like, you're almost at the dawn. You've been doing all right on your own, but you know that such more rich and love-filled and just, I mean, I can tell that you're emotionally really deep, you know, and you deserve to be able to share that with people instead of holding it inside. And again, feeling alienated by it. So I hope you can take small steps, group 2. Again, I'm sorry for whatever you've been through, but this is a really good sign of where you're going. I totally believe in you, and I'm wishing you the best on your journey. And yeah, oh yes, we're getting Moonology advice. So final parting advice for group 2, please. This reading went kind of long. It's okay. Balance spirituality and practicality. Yes. So I think for many of us, you know, like having a job or any other responsibilities can make personal improvement difficult, and like, you know, it takes time and energy, and you have so many other things going on. So I totally understand how it's like difficult to work on your mental health while also being on the go and stuff, but it is possible. And again, if you aren't a spiritual person, then I would certainly recommend that. I love the Libra. I like the gates too. Like, something about that is like resonating with the scales. Like, I don't know, but yeah, a win-win outcome is forecast. So, you know, it's not just for you, it's for everyone you'll come in contact with in the future. So yeah, maybe if that's a motivation, if you're struggling with self-love, you can remember that, like, you coming to a better, less reactive place is good for everyone. It's for the highest good of all, not just yourself. So multiple wins. And look at that. New moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. Yes. So if that's not confirmation, I don't know what is, group 2. Like, you are changing. You have it in you. That energy is already there. You just have to tap right into it. And yeah, I'm excited for you. Let me know if this resonated and like how your journey is going. But yep, these are all the messages I'm seeing for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for watching, for being here, for exchanging energy with me and letting me read for you. And again, wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, group 3. If you chose the Snowflake Obsidian, and I'm sorry, like, I already forget what card it was now. This is going to be your reading. Are we taking these? No. So, group C, we're going to start out with where you are in the dark currently. Keeping a cage, Princess of Cups. Okay, so luckily a more simple card in this deck because some of them you just have to know. There's nothing telling you what tarot card it is. Okay, this came out first. Queen of Pentacles. How do I start valuing myself? And wow, okay, all quartz. That's so interesting. So Prince of Cups is actually the Knight of Cups, and the Knights in this deck are actually the Kings, apparently. It's interesting. What do you secretly wish for? Okay. Are you holding out on love and you don't know why? Or are you not attracting the kind of partners that you want and you don't know why? What are the initial messages that I'm getting? 3 quartz. That's really quite something, group 3. 3 quartz. Yeah, something about starting a new relationship, I want to say, for a lot of you. Or a new chapter in your current relationships, if you are in any that are coming to mind. Or like, are you not able to get to a certain level of intimacy with people emotionally due to something? I'm thinking about connection out here in the dark. Kelp. It's so pretty. Okay. Poison ivy / oak. Very cool. What's keeping you caged in this kelp, which is kind of sticky. Thistle, okay. Interesting. Yeah, definitely getting a closed off to love kind of vibe. I thought this would be connected to other piles, so there's definitely some intertwining energy here. I really had a feeling that that would be the case. So the first two are so different from each other, but there are always overlapping energies, right? Right, so okay, group 3. Kelp is what's keeping you caged. So in this instance, kelp is actually sort of about remaining connected, tethered to other people and living beings. So I think you're really struggling in your relationships. I'm getting for most of you, come on, cars. I'm getting for most of you that you have some relationships in your life that are pretty significant. Some of you could be, single or otherwise on the lonelier side, but I think for a lot of you, you have close connections, and for whatever reason, you're feeling stifled in them. Like, I'm looking at you as the Queen of Discs here, and like, just basically sitting on kelp, which is interesting. So something about, your relationships, you like might have people right next to you in the dark, but you feel completely alone for some reason. And there's this sense of hiding and protection. So these are both about boundaries, the poison ivy and oak and the thistle. Poison ivy and oak show up in environments that need to be protected and need to heal and sort of reset and stuff. So it's almost like you're putting up these invisible boundaries and like not really telling people about it, but people can sense these things. So it could be creating sort of a slow building undercurrent of tension in your close relationships. And so like even if you can't see it out here in the dark, you can feel it running through things. And that's not a very fun feeling. So sort of these cords of attachment are vibrating with an energy of uncertainty and maybe even a little bit of resentment, just things building up that are not being expressed for whatever reason. We'll definitely get into like why things are like this. I'm not really sure. This is like the least amount of information I've had so far at this point in the readings. I think you secretly wish for deeper connection too, but why are you hurt? Why are you holding back? Are the people around you not actually the people you would like, not your vibe, not just in the energy that you want, or is there something else? Let's see, what's a little bit farther out from group 3 in the darkness? So we have the King of Wands reversed, and we have Ten of Swords reversed. Wow. Okay, I'm getting some messages so far. Can you get 2 more cards, please, for group 3? What's sort of farther out in the murkiness? You doing this one too? Oh my gosh. Okay, no, sorry. Two of Cups, though. Two of Cups. So again, that connection. Okay, then it is meant to be. Judgment. Wow. And like, oh my god, the gates is right next to Judgment. That's wild. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yes. Oh my god, sorry. Okay. So for some of you, group 3, are you someone who's like trying to start a new creative hobby or like your own business, some sort of spiritual venture, something like that that's a little more out there or untraditional? I feel like your creativity has been blocked because people close to you shut you down a little bit. This might not be for everyone, but I think a significant chunk of you, like, yeah, you don't have supporters close to you. For whatever reason, people are being haters. Or not haters, but like for, you know, maybe they have their own wounds, their own insecurities, and for whatever reason, they're projecting sort of some of that fear onto you. So this might not even be like something internal. It could be mostly coming from externally. I think someone really put you down at some point in the past. It doesn't have to be like a huge traumatic thing necessarily, but it really sounds like someone said something to you that really left an impact on you. But it's like time to shed that now. Someone didn't like that you were trying to share your gifts with the world, or like someone who you thought could mentor you like didn't want to. Someone tried to hold you back one way or another. And so, yeah, of course it would be understandable then that you're not really sure. So, yeah, maybe you're feeling isolated because you feel like you have these hobbies that you keep to yourself, that you can't share with the people closest to you. I definitely feel that one a bit. But this is just a reminder that there are people out there, and like, you know, I feel like so many readings, people are like, just drop people. Like, you don't have to do that, but you also don't have to keep relationships exactly the same just because of like history with people. With this Judgment here, I'm just thinking that like you'll either come to the realization that like you may need to sort of reprioritize or restructure some of the relationships in your life, or you might just reach a state where you start attracting new people who are more into like what you're about, or just more matching your energy in some way, shape, or form. And you'll sort of get to a point where your boundaries are so strong that you don't even have to worry about people who are out of alignment like coming through and like bothering you too much. Like you will be so in your own energy and power that will just be your vibe. and like you'll attract who you're meant to attract. So yeah, maybe too, like you've changed pretty quickly, or even not necessarily that quickly, but you just started growing in a different direction from a lot of the people close to you. So yeah, out here in the dark, there's just like a pull to go a different way. And you can like feel your attachment to people who are sort of staying in the same place or they're walking in a different direction. It's like people holding onto a rope to stay together. But you're like, I want to go this way. And they're like, why are you doing that? They're pulling you back a little bit. But you're allowed to go your own way, group 3. Let's see what the Nocturna vibes are. So what other energies are out here for group, Moth, for group 3? Night sky, so that's like star energy. That's really pretty. Yeah, you can follow your own compass, you know. Scallop, more repeating energy. Is this what we want? No. One more card for group 3, please. That's 2. Please, spirit guides, one more card for group 3 with the energy farther out into the forest. Okay, 2 came out again. No, I'm gonna wait for 1. Please, 1 card. Thank you. Badger. Interesting. Yep, literally, as I was saying that, like, the moth can be about, like, being led astray and burning out, so, yeah, you might be spending so much time and energy on, like, pacifying other people and, like, soothing their insecurities and going the way that they want you to go. You need to do you first, group 3. So yeah, it's funny, when Moth came out, like, I just thought of crab mentality for some reason. I wasn't even, like, quite remembering all of the meanings for this card in this deck, but I was thinking crab when I saw the Moth, which, if you don't know about that, definitely look it up. But that can be a very common phenomenon, unfortunately. So, yes, you do not have to follow the Moth. That's just the second thing in the whole. There aren't numbers, but still, sort of just the beginning. Guidance, clarity, wonder. Yes. So this is definitely saying like your own inner compass and intuition is what you need to be following, not what the people around you are telling you. Or like even if you don't have that much influence from the people around you, like not what society is telling you. Scallop is about softness, femininity, you know, so yeah, I definitely could see that as like sort of that energy getting a little bit messed up. If anything, that would be like your sort of masculine energy getting drowned out, like if people are forcing you to cater to their needs instead of your own. That could lead to an imbalance there, but there's just a general like being softer with yourself, and you know, if you have to retreat, that's okay because that can lead to more creativity. If you're not looking into getting into any sort of creative field, then I still just wonder if there's some interest or choice that you have or belief that you have, something you want to do in your life that people are not supporting, even if it's not a form of art. If it's not a passion, but it's actually a relationship that the people in your life don't approve of, you know, again, unless you live with them, like they can't they can't dictate that for you. You deserve to live the life that you love. So I certainly hope that if possible, you can find a way around those restrictions and at least try to live in your truth in that way. Everyone deserves to be with the person they want to be with. Especially if that person already loves you a lot. You shouldn't have to let that love go just because you have people who disagree or anything like that. So just thought I would throw that in there. And then for Badger, we have, it's a warrior spirit, which is inspiring. Badger is like totally everything we've been talking about. Like they're solitary, independent creatures that dig very extensive underground burrow systems for their homes. And yeah, people are like badgering you to do what they want you to do. And it's like, no, it's all about self-reliance and persistence. And again, that warrior spirit. Fearless, fend off predators. Yeah. More about like that courage and stuff. Yeah, all about courage and stuff. So this really is to say that you have everything you need within you already, group 3. Yeah, this is more about not listening to all the pesky voices trying to lead you astray. It's almost like fae energy in the forest. I don't know if anyone in your life has that kind of energy, but like that's the vibe. You follow your own North Star and night sky and you'll get to where you need to be. So we're just getting some final advice for you now. Don't let your past hold you back. Yeah, I'm really sensing this like history with these people. Like it's been quite a long time that they've been in your life and like really heavily influencing things. So I know that can be really hard, but it still doesn't mean that everything has to stay the same forever. You and your loved ones are safe. Yes. Honestly, like I'm so sick of like it's just getting to be a lot the way that people are. I don't know. Some people need help ending difficult relationships, but like the way that people talk about ending relationships in readings on here sometimes, like I'm just like, how do you have anyone left in your life then? Like, what is this like just rapid cycle of people that's always going on, you know? Like, you don't have to cut everyone out of your life to change the way that things are. You just have to have the courage to talk to them, communicate, set those boundaries. And I know that's hard if you're financially dependent, like if you're younger on here, anything like that. But if you're not, then it's the strength of will kind of thing. And if you are, there are ways to work around it. So one more piece of advice for my group 3s. Conclusions are within reach. Yeah, so honestly, like this conversation might not be as difficult as you think it's going to be. Like you might go into it like terrified, and then like you tell your people who supposedly care about you, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I was affecting you in that way. Like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I was so like off base and just projecting my own stuff. Like, I had no idea. So like, thank you for telling me. And oh my gosh, please do what you want to do. You know what I mean? That could totally happen. For a lot of you, I'm sure people will get mad, or at least for some of you. But I don't know. It just really sounds like you are going to get back into whatever passion it was that you kind of had to discard. You know, Ten of Swords reverse is like those swords are falling out, and whatever happened in the past doesn't have to hold you back. You can start a new beginning. Even if the outside circumstances in your life don't change that much, just changing within you, starting to value yourself more, taking yourself out of that cage and acknowledging what you secretly wish for, you can at least start within with those changes. So I hope this was helpful, group 3. I hope it resonated. Please let me know in the comments if it did. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe. It means so much to me. But yeah, other than that, thanks again. Take care, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye! Hello, group 4. You know, it's so funny. I finally managed to film earlier in the day so that the sun isn't going down yet, but it's like the one reading where sunlight just doesn't seem very appropriate. So I'm sorry if that messes with things thematically, but I still think the setup looks pretty beautiful. You let me know what you think. But yes, if you chose the Hematite, and to be quite honest, I already forget what card, you were in the right place. This is going to be your reading. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's tap into your energy. Is this what we want already? I think we need a minute, honestly. Let's tap into your energy. What was in it? Let's tap into your energy. To explain how this reading is going to go, we're going to start out with sort of where you are at, the energy that you're in. Okay, wow. Change. Every day in every way, things will be better. Okay, so what is this card? Thinking about this deck, that it's actually a tarot deck, but unless you know, you're never gonna know. Yeah, I'm almost certain that's the Two of Pentacles. Sort of got that balance thing. Okay, yes, that's the Two of Pentacles. Whew. What is it about group 4? I feel like the energy is always a little bit weird. Whew. I want to make sure things really reset. Ooh, Queen of Swords, expose your true self. Okay, what else does group 4 have going on, please? One more card. There they are. Ooh. We're gonna do that? Okay, I will take just that one. Death, I saw death while I was shuffling, so it seems like it wants to come out. Well, seems like a personal transformation is happening, if I had to guess. Yeah, it seems like you're like cutting off your old head and getting a new one. There's a sense of optimism. I don't know if you actually hold it. I like the yin yang. Or if you're not feeling that way, are you being forced to change and you're not into it? Or are you feeling optimistic about it? We'll find out more of the energy that you're in and is around you most immediately. You might be more aware of with the Dirt Gems deck. Rosemary. Okay. Whew. Hops. 2 fire ones so far. There's the number of cards acting up. One more card, please. One more dirt gem, too. Okay. Evening Primrose. Ooh, I don't know if you can tell, but I have Legend of Zelda music on, and we just got to the exact part that I was thinking of, which is like, yeah. Well, I'm also thinking of part of the game where it's completely pitch black, but this is like swirling mist in the woods. Anyway, that definitely is sort of the vibe I'm feeling. It's kind of convoluted energy and like this. I'm just feeling a lot of anxiety in my chest for this pile for some reason, or like I may have just been neglecting to take deep breaths, but let's see what is going on with your energy. Is it you or is it me? If it's you, it's okay. Beholder of belonging. Yeah, okay. If you're not feeling completely present in your life or your body, these decks are new to me. So this one doesn't come with a guidebook, which is interesting. This does. It's very beautiful. Yeah, it's almost like I'm being like pulled out of my body and I'm like trying hard to not dissociate. I'm feeling like, yeah, sort of this pain in my heart chakra. This is deep, unconditional, I will cross space and time for you kind of love. We can build whatever we need to house our desires. Yeah, so it seems like you're going through a time of deep personal transformation. It's interesting too. I feel like a lot of the time, Two of Pentacles gives more of a stable sort of energy, personally. It's like you're balancing two things and you're sort of just like maintaining your schedule, but it's interesting that this one is change, like in the act of trying to balance the things. Like you can try to delude yourself into thinking that things are staying the same at any given point in time, but they're always changing, right? That's interesting. Let's see, Hops. Moony. Hops is our childhood friend who takes our hand and says, let's take the rowboat out. Sit in the rocking chair with me and listen to the wind. Collector of time, space, quiet, and laughter. Hops can create a light, playful rising of your head into the clouds where we need to untether from our sense of control. Yeah, it really feels like I'm being like ripped from my body. Like this person might as well be attached to these balloons. That's so funny. I'm so excited to get into this deck more. Like I couldn't even wait to just use it in this reading. I don't know if you've been drinking a lot of beer, or if you're trying to drink less beer. It's a shadow plant, but one that makes the darkness sparkle. If you're finding yourself anxious, beholden to the details, tied up, clenching, a need for control, invite Hops in. Invite both the losing and finding your way, the lightning and the floating. Invite in this friend who skips beside you. Lie down and watch the stars come out together. So I almost wonder if, because you have this like desire to control things, and like obviously we ultimately can't for most things, if you have been using any substances to sort of numb the anxiety that comes from that. Let's see, Evening Primrose, Night Bloomer. Also very much a card of the night, so seems relevant. Yeah, also a lot about anxiety here. And the moon through your window gently lighting your sleepy face. Nurturing and ality in life. Yeah, okay, so it seems like maybe you have some inner child work to do. You're realizing in the dark, maybe that's like, yeah, you're even like nurturing that here. Yeah, strong messages from multiple cards here about inner child work. I mean, a lot of this reading has been like shadow work, but that's obviously another interesting area to explore. Yeah, this is sort of ignoring the voice of anxiety. Wrap this blanket of moonlight around you, shadows and all, and know that you can be secure, loved, and will not always be left. Author your story and let your heart open into the waters of mutual and reciprocal love. For the times when we are most impressionable, like an impact on water that is ripples far and wide, can assure you in soft whispers, you are wanted, you are safe. This is so beautiful. Okay, so yeah, no wonder. No wonder I feel so activated with this pile. Do a lot of you have childhood trauma? Ooh, not necessarily like all of you, but I'm definitely feeling that for a bunch of you. Definitely someone. Otherwise, I feel like you did have something difficult happen in the somewhat recent past that is like driving this change that I don't think you necessarily want, that is making you feel very anxious and out of control. But just know that Spirit and your guides have a higher plan for you, even if you can't see it. It does seem for some reason you're not super aware of all of the details. I don't know that they're necessarily being hidden from you. I think it's like there if you want to find out more, but it almost seems like you're so triggered by everything that you haven't even like had the capacity to ask about that. Which, yeah, hematite is super grounding, so yeah, I kind of see what's going on here. So what's happening out here in the dark? Yeah, again, it's sort of like being pulled from your body. These like doubles here, doubles head. I think you're dealing with some dissociative tendencies or behaviors, any kind of mental health problems, trauma symptoms. Maybe you're looking into starting to uncover some of your trauma for the first time. You're looking back at your childhood and thinking about things in a different way. This can be like really, really heavy, really challenging, incredibly difficult work to do. So I do hope that you have support around you, group 4. Let's see what's a little bit farther out from you now. Oops. What is within group 4's vicinity, a little bit farther away in the dark? What is the vibe? What would that want to be? Okay, I believe that's... Wait, that's not the Wheel of Fortune. What is this card? Oh, it's the World. Okay. But it's in reverse. So something isn't quite ending for you, something you're resisting. Yeah, that doesn't always necessarily have to be wrong. It's almost like, yeah, like your past is holding you back a bit. You might be approaching, that could be triggering too, you could be approaching. I think we're going to take all of these. So, Ace of Cups, reversed. Knight of Wands, upright. And the Magician, which is really nice. Yeah, it does seem like something new is coming up. Like, I don't know if you're graduating or some like ending or beginning is triggering you. Like something, I mean, change can be really hard, right? For everyone, and then especially if you have trauma. I feel like Knight of Wands energy is like what you want to be stepping into. Feeling more confident about charging ahead and like following your passions. In this deck it says mutation, instability, hesitation, and pursuits of the heart, false love. Yeah, very passionate. It's almost like you're scared of your power. Like, did someone in your childhood or earlier on sort of abuse their power or turn you off to sort of acting confidently? Because they might have been like displaying some narcissistic traits or something like that. And you're like afraid that if you move towards being more confident, you will like start repeating those patterns. But I see you as being different. Like, obviously you were exposed to those things, everyone picks things up, things exist on a spectrum, but you don't have to fear yourself. You're allowed to blossom. You're literally the magician, so like you can transform yourself into whatever you want. You can manifest whatever you want. You can have the whole world. You can have the love you deserve and want, if that's what you want. Yeah, you could get to the point where you know, don't be afraid to literally be the Knight of Wands and like have the head of your past self on a freaking stick. This is so gory, but like, and ride around with it. Like, if you don't have to be ashamed of your past, I think that can hold us back too. You don't have to judge yourself for what you did when you were trying to survive or where you came from, what you've endured. You can transcend that. So yeah, it's like you're having this call to ascend. You're being pulled up and stuff. Even the water is going up. That really explains that feeling I've been feeling. Even this person's floating up. So you could be going through a spiritual awakening, or just like realizing that wherever you've been at is like not working for you anymore. Too in your you've been struggling with your mental health and want something new. Totally understandable. So are you going to answer the call? What is out there in the dark for group 4? What is farther out there in the darkness? Watching, accessible to them. Cactus and fog. Beautiful. What else is out there in the darkness? Chambered nautilus. Do you play Animal Crossing? Such a funny creature. Okay. Who is it? Pitcher plant. Easy to get stuck in there and turn to goo. But yeah, you could be getting liquefied and then you just come out a new version of yourself, you know? Deceit and illusion. Yeah, so I feel like you were definitely betrayed by people in the past, but it doesn't have to be that way. And you definitely don't have to be deceptive to yourself. I see that you're afraid to fall victim to temptation. I see that you don't want to mess up the way that people before you have. I can definitely feel that from you. Fog, feeling lost, uncertainty, confusion, oppression. Shapes and shadows lurk in the distance. So yeah, there's definitely that brain fog that comes with trauma a lot of the time. So I feel like you can feel this sense of transformation, but are feeling lost at the same time, potentially. But it's okay, you know, you don't have to see everything in front of you. You have to trust yourself, your true self, and know that, like, you are loved and supported, even if you're not feeling that in 3D. Like, there are always going to be people, and even if not, there are people, energies on spiritual plane that are looking out for you. You are going to be like transmuting a lot of, I don't know too much about karma, but it really just seems like you are a trauma survivor and you are going to really transform and alchemize that energy, right? Magician energy. Armor being closed off, endurance. Yeah, so you've been through so much. I think you've really internalized a lot and you're strong because of that, but that act can only go on for so long, right? And then it starts to manifest in health issues and like issues in all different parts of your life. It can really affect everything. I think I know where the chambered nautilus is going to, because it just keeps growing new compartments of itself. So that can definitely speak to compartmentalization, maybe needing to do some parts work, which is something I don't know too much about, but I'm looking into. You know, we can get really fractured by trauma. Sacred geometry, endurance, and expansion. As it grows, a new chamber is added to the shell to accommodate its larger size. So you can be an integrated being and include all your parts, including your shadow self including your wounded inner child, your past. You can hold all of those things at once and be you, an integrated version of you, an amazing version of you, 100%. You deserve to let yourself experience that, group 4. I feel like we really need advice for your pile, like, because this has painted a very clear picture, but it's like, where are you going? What next? You know, aside from like really starting to nurture yourself. This is a lot of inner work. There's not a lot externally. I'm hoping that whatever it is that happened here is no longer happening in the current moment. Let's get advice from the Moonology Oracle cards. Parting advice, please, for group 4. How do they move forward in their trauma healing journey? That's too many, although I've definitely opened up more cards than the other groups had. Don't tell them. Confidence is your key to success. Yes. You don't have to fear being confident, group 4. You'll be a very positive, grounded, classy version. Your hard work is paying off. So you might already be in therapy. You're already starting to explore these things and becoming aware of them. A fiery climax approaches. I want more for you. Maybe 1 or 2 more. So I think, you know, this process of becoming aware of what has happened to us and where we are at mentally can be really shocking and generate a lot of energy. And like I said, there's sort of this ascension. So I think as soon as you sort of come further into alignment and acceptance with that, you really could go through this like very rapid change with that Knight of Wands energy and now that Aries energy. The end of a tough cycle approaches. We went from the new moon in Capricorn to the full moon. That's so beautiful. Yes. Yes, seriously. Like, you are my cycle breaker pile, group 4. Totally was the energy that I was getting. Like, you are healing your family line. Like, I think this really does go beyond just your lifetime. Like, you could be breaking generational curses, healing intergenerational traumas. That's really beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty much. Do we want anything else? I feel like, oh, you know what was at the bottom of the deck? There we go. Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. Yes. Please show the world the full you, or the real you. It's beautiful. You don't have to be afraid. I feel like someone like shamed you if you like ever like reported anything good to a parent or authority figure or something like that. Like, someone really turned you off from that, but it is not being full of yourself to celebrate your wins and your accomplishments. I hope you know that, group 4. So yes, these are the messages I'm seeing. Again, if this did resonate, like, I'm so sorry for whatever you've been through. Like, I really felt it in my chest for this one. So my heart goes out to you, group 4. I'm wishing you all the best in your journey, in your recovery. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have an amazing eclipse season, Mercury retrograde. Hang in there. Yeah, so if you like this, feel free to like and subscribe. And otherwise, thanks again, take care, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye.